Hey there everyone, I'm Dicebag, and this is my monster collecting tabletop RPG, Crytures. I'm going to be picking up where I left off on a solo campaign where I just had a scouting party search the wilderness around a frontier town. They just came back with a few nice discoveries, and now another party is heading out to investigate one of them. So let's see how these guys fare. Alright, so we've got our new little adventuring party here. So what happened in the time between last time and now, the scouting party brought their maps back and they were shared amongst the organizations that make up the world. We've got the Viridian Order, the League of Magi, and the Root Run Militia, which are the ones that basically manage things in this little region. And one of the locations, one of the larger caves that was found by the scouting party got the eye of Justin here. Justin's a delver with the League of Magi, so he's obviously pretty interested in big old caves. That's kind of his specialty, is dark places and exploring them. So he went and grabbed a couple of dudes from the militia. Over here we've got Kristoff, a soldier, and Erwin, a sorcerer. And they're basically gonna go check out this cave and explore it and, see what's there. Probably gonna have creatures infesting it. That's pretty much a given. And so they're basically gonna split whatever they find. And of course, Justin, he's there for study and a lot of what he's looking for. So, with them, we've also got their creatures. So last time, before I forgot to actually give natures to the creatures, which is actually kind of an important mechanic that I left out. But natures are how the creature is able to gain affinity and enmity in their with their conjurer. And of course there are other ways, because we did gain some enmity with the last time around with the last party, just because their creatures kept getting knocked out, and obviously they don't like that. But of course we've got Kristoff with his cheapie, which is aggressive, so he's gonna be looking for a fight most of the time. Justin, on the other hand, has Torkish, which is a noble nature. And you can see Torkish over here. He hasn't been featured yet. We had a cheapie on the last team, though, so you've seen him. And then we've got Erwin's noble psychic. So at least these two kind of, they match up in their personalities a bit. So here, let me move that over a bit so you can see. But yeah. So, if these guys make decisions that kind of offend the natures of their creatures, then they're gonna suffer some enmity gaining there. And, of course, if you gain too much enmity, then your creatures are gonna start to disobey. So, they have also been loaned a little hand cart, basically like a rustic wheelbarrow, to kind of haul anything that they might find back to civilization afterwards. And that's gonna alleviate some of their carrying capacity issues, because they're also loaded down with a bunch of mining equipment, because it's a crystal cave that they're going to explore, and there's a good chance that they're gonna find some a nice haul of like precious gems in there. And that's really what has Justin looking at this place with greedy eyes, let's say. So here's what we're gonna do. I've actually tweaked a little bit of the timekeeping and the travel rules to kind of gamify it a little more. So we're starting up here, and the cave they're looking for is just over here. It's not a very far trek. They could get there in one day, probably. So, they still are going to have to go through some rough terrain, though. So as we're traveling, we're going to be dealing with something I call passing time. And this is just a way to gamify longer periods of time. Not like long periods, but like days at a time. So this is going to take place in turns, and each turn is going to be 1 day. So each turn you take in passing time, you can do a labor action, you can do a rest action, and then you can sleep, of course. And those are the 3 actions that take up your day. Now, if you want to do extra, if you want to work extra hard, you can take an extra labor action, but in doing so, you suffer an injury from exhaustion. And of course, if you want to skip sleeping, yeah, well, you can do that too and get in a 3rd action. But obviously, you're not going to regain all the stuff that you would have lost or would have regained with the sleep, like your stamina and your mana and your creatures, resources, and all that. So, let's see. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and look at our rules for navigation. So, let's see. We're going to chart a course to travel and then make a check. So let's see. We're going to go to the GM layer and let's use this color. We're going to chart our course here. And that'll be meaningful when we go and make some navigation checks. So let's see, who has exactly the best navigation? We're going to have to find that out. And of course, I didn't make the macros for these things, so I'm going to have to do that on the fly. Give me a second here. Alright, I think I'm ready to go now. So, We've charted our course here, and what we're going to do, I've assigned roles for traveling for each of these guys, so they're each going to do their own thing, and for Justin, that is navigation, so he's going to make that role right now. Hold up, we got an unrecognized command. Let's double check. Edit this, okay, put a space in there, and then we should be good. Alright. There we go. Alright, so what we're looking for... Let's see, how does this work? Roll is sense plus survival, difficulty is 5 plus spaces moved, so we're moving 2 spaces. So we're looking at a target of 7 in order to not get lost. And we have, we scored 2 10s. We got a 10, 3, 9, 6, and 10. So that's plenty of successes. We scored freaking 5 altogether. So we're not going to have any trouble getting there. Along the way, though, we are going to have to check what is actually in these places. Okay, so there's not much there. We're going to have... Erwin, though, Erwin is our tracker, so he's going to be looking out for creatures along the way, and we'll see exactly how well he does at that. Okay. Difficulty 5 plus spaces moved. Alright, so he is also shooting for 7, and he scores 3, 3, 9, and 8. Okay, so he scores 2 successes. So if creatures come out along the way, we're gonna be able to find them. Let's see, I should probably track that somewhere. So let's see. I've got a little spreadsheet over here that I'll mark that down on. Navigation had 5 successes. And then Kristoff over here is going to be the guide. He'll be looking out for environmental problems. That might be a danger. And he scores 10, 9, 3, and 8. Okay, he scores plenty. That's a 4 successes. All right, with that out of the way, they're going pretty well. Like it's not a super dangerous trek. It's just a couple spaces away. That's But anyways, we will need to roll for the encounters on each of these things. Each space they go through will get its own encounter roll. So we're just gonna roll 2d10, one for each space, and we're gonna look at what they have. Now the first one we're going through is the Wet Woods, which is over here. And it's a 9? Ooh, yeah. Okay, that's that's a creature encounter. So they do run into something as they set out. What have we got here? Let's see. We're just gonna roll a handful right here, and we'll check what it says on the creatures table. So this would be early in the day. So we're using the morning table. Let's see, first roll is a 7, so we just go like straight down this thing and match up each die to each column. 7, that's Arbos. Alright. Arbos, and let's see, hostility is 9. Ooh, they're vicious. They're looking for a fight, as is often the case with Arbos. But actually, I think Arbos have an additional hostility, so they're like at 10. And then the total danger, I haven't updated this, but I'm actually trying out something new with the danger. So let's see, we got a density of 3. So what we're gonna do instead of use what's on the table, we're just gonna roll 3d10. And that's a danger of 19. Okay, so this is a new update from what I was using. I've been figuring the way I've been handling danger is probably not the best. So we're going to calculate it a little bit differently. Instead of like just the basic danger of each creature, it's going to be their danger plus the amount of classes they have. The amount of levels in the classes they have, rather. So these guys are starting out with creatures that each have 1 level, and their base danger is 2. So these are each a danger of 3. And then these guys, I generally consider humans to be a danger of 1, but they are like equipped and trained for fighting for the most part. So maybe we'll go ahead and add in some of their skills to determine if this is going to be a problem. Actually, you know what? It's probably going to be better if I just determine the makeup of the creatures themselves. So let's go over here. I'll look up the Arbos. So Arbos are gonna default to a danger of 3, 2 for their base and 1 for a class. So if we look at 19, that's a pretty hefty danger. So we're looking at, what is that, like 6 at least? 6 times 3, that's 18, right? Yeah. 6 of them. And one of them's probably going to be a little bit stronger, like we're going to have a leader there. Alright, so we are definitely going to try and avoid these guys. So let's pull up the rules for that. Evading and escaping encounters. We might have to tweak this with the new rules for danger because it references that. So let's see. Everybody's gonna roll agility plus stealth. And what is that? Does anybody even have stealth? Okay, Justin has stealth. So he's gonna roll 4d10. I should have made a macro for 4d10 because I keep using that a lot. Ooh. Difficulty is hostility, so they need to roll 10s in order to get anywhere. So let's see. That's Justin. Let's see. Kristoff has no stealth, only 2 agility. That's not very good. No successes. Looks like they might be fighting these things on their way there. And only 2 for Erwin. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think 2 successes among all of these guys is gonna do it no matter what. So this starts an encounter. We're gonna have to pull up things and get through a montage here, a battle montage. Let's see. We're gonna pull up a couple of brawlers. One of them's a little stronger. A couple of monks. And let's see. What is the last one? A scamp? Let's just squish them in here. Alright, so battle montages haven't changed very much. And this is, for those who haven't seen, this is the kind of a shorthand, quick way of resolving combat encounters when you're in like strategic time, or not strategic time, passing time. When you're counting days rather than minutes or hours. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have people square off with one of these things, and they will roll for an attack, and that will determine how much damage they've done, more or less. So what we're gonna do is divide this up by 5. Each of them are gonna have 8 health, kind of. This is gonna be the complexity, how many successes they need to score. And then we're going to have them square up. Now, good thing is Psykit is good against these things, so he's gonna be right front and center. He's gonna be the first in line. And we're definitely gonna try and avoid putting most of our conjurers in danger. Let's see. Alright, what does Justin have? He has... Okay, he's got Rod for a weapon. And Erwin has a scepter. Ooh. I'm kind of reluctant to actually put these guys on the front lines, because if they all get knocked out, then that's going to be a problem. So we're going to have... Nah, that's it. Erwin's gonna back up the cheapie, because he's kind of at the biggest disadvantage. He's got a weakness to these guys. So we're gonna line them up like so. And they're just gonna attack right across, and then this guy is gonna deal a bunch of damage to Psykit here, because he's kind of the first in line on the front lines. So now we're just gonna go down and roll for attacks and see how it shapes up. And we should probably pull up Arbo's Creature Codex entry over here on the website, just so we can see it real easily, what his stats are. Alright. Down here he's got a evasion of 5, which is what we're shooting for. And Psychic is a psionic, using psionic powers, so he gets a +2 to his rolls. And he scores, let's see, 7, 5, 1, 4, 4, 3, 3. That's quite a few hits with the bonus. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 hits. Alright. So that Arbo is down to 2. Now Kristoff here is gonna, let's see, he's got a great axe, so he can dish out some decent damage here. But he's targeting a higher defense. I think he's targeting deflection, so that's a 6, and he does not get a bonus. He does, however, score 3, 10, 2, 2, 10, 2, and 9. So that's 10s count double. So that's 4, 5. Not too bad. Alright, Torkish is gonna throw some fire at these guys. Torkish is kind of a glass cannon, so hopefully he blasts before he breaks. And let's see, he's shooting for evasion again, so no bonus, but we got 2, 9, 8, 1, 8, 2, 10, 10. So 10s count for 2, that's 4, 9, 8, and 8, that's 7. Okay, so he's down to 1. And let's see. Justin. What is Justin actually good at? Let's see. Intellect is his highest one. Okay, so he's going to default to using his blast attack, his ranged attack, and target evasion. And he actually hits all. He has 6, 7, 5, 8, 9, and 9. Okay, so that's down to 2. Unfortunately, like, almost none of these guys could actually wipe out one of these things in a single hit. And now we're coming up to Cheapy. He's at a disadvantage, so he's going to take a penalty to his rolls. And let's see, he's rolling against deflection too. So 4, 7, 3, 8, 8, 1, 2. Oof. Yeah, okay, so that's only 2 hits. That sucks for him. Fortunately, he's got Irwin backing him up, so let's see. Of course, Irwin's gonna blast it with his scepter. And I believe that's evasion, yeah. So he scored 4, 10, 3, 7, 9, 4, 7. And we're shooting for 5, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. So he's down to 1. And the last guy in line doesn't take any damage at all. He's going to only dish it out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the Arbo, the number of dice the Arbo would roll, and with its attacks, and then multiply by how many is left here that they did not, is left with their complexity. So let's see. This is Arbo with 6 strength. Okay, so he's dealing 7 per thing. I need to come up with a term for that, for the leftover complexity. So Psychic is down 14 health just on that. Kristoff is going to be down 21. Actually, this is the stronger one. I forgot to label that. So this guy deals actually 8 damage, so he's taking 24. 24 damage. Torkish only takes 7 on that round. And Justin, let's see. He also takes 14. Cheapy is, actually I forgot to deal with the resistance, so he actually takes less damage. Psych Hit here. Cheapy, on the other hand, will take more damage, but let's see, he only has 1 to deal with, so he's taking 9 damage. Actually, wait a second. What is Cheapy vulnerable to? Oh wait, this is... yeah, these last two were scamps, so they're actually using... they're using beast powers. As we can see here on the website, Cheapy is resistant to beast powers, so he does, in fact, take less damage, but he wasn't taking much to begin with. So he takes off 5. Now this guy comes in, like, fully ready and unharmed, no weakness at all. Let's see, and Psych Hit does not have any resistance to beast attacks or anything. So he's gonna deal the full damage. He's gonna deal 7 times 8. Ooh. I don't even need to count that up. That's... Psych Hit's down. Psych Hit's down. Alright. What does that mean for us? You know what? Normally I would roll like a morale check for these guys. But since they haven't even lost a single one, I feel like it's probably pointless to do so. So we're going to kind of refocus our efforts here. Now, since this thing is a scamp, we're going to have Cheapy shift over. Erwin will take that spot. And then we're just going to play out the second round here. Alright. Kristoff coming in with the Great Axe again. And scores double 10s. That's enough to take him down. Torkish. Gonna blast away with the fire. And let's see. Ooh. 6561991. That's a... I still haven't decided what to do when creatures roll too many 1s. I guess we're just gonna deal with that. He only needed 1 success, so that one's down. This second round is we're blowing him out. Okay, Justin here. Justin might want to take this opportunity to try and capture a creature, now that I think about it. So we're going to roll with the Binding Crystal. So Justin's going to knock off a Binding Crystal on his character sheet. And what are we shooting for? Binding +3 versus Danger +5. And I guess that's their base danger. I forgot about that. I forgot that Binding Crystals were now keying off of danger for their successes. So he's shooting for a 7. He only scores 1. He scores 5-2-7-2. That's a wasted Binding Crystal. Dang. Okay, well. I thought we had that one in the bag, but perhaps Erwin will have more luck here. He's going up against the one that just has 1, so let's pull out the Lesser Binding Crystal. Oh, yeah, he holds it aloft, throws his power through it, and it shatters, streaks towards the guy, and encases it in crystal. Let's see, he rolls a 5, 6, 2, 8, 3, and a 10. That's more than enough to take down this one, so he has been bound. And now Cheapy. Cheapy has to face this guy with a penalty to his attacks. Ooh, let's see. I believe I'm shooting for a 6. Okay. And he's using undead attacks from his vampire class, so he takes a -2 penalty, so we have 5, 9, 9, 6, 2, 5, 2. That's only 2 hits from the 9s. Alright, so we're gonna move these up here. And now we're gonna go ahead and do a morale check. If I can actually find where I put that. Let's see. Alright, I found it. We're rolling pack size versus 10 minus the highest danger. So I'm gonna base that on their base danger, rather than like the one I was using to calculate the encounter size. So let's see. Pack size is 3. They're each gonna roll 1 die. And they have to hit an 8. They do in fact hit an 8. They stick around to deal more damage. Actually, they should be dealing damage anyway. So let's see. I need to do that. I forgot to deal the damage. So this guy deals 6 to Cheapy. And let's see. He's using beast powers, so that's only 5 per hit. That's like 30 still 30 damage still. Cheapy is down to 5. And these guys are gonna stick around for another round. Let's see. He's got 2 left, and he's dealing what? 7 apiece? 21? Ooh. Ouch. And then this guy is gonna deal another 21 to Kristoff since he's the closest one. Oops, I forgot to make that a -21. It's made it a normal 21 instead. Okay, so this is looking a little more dicey this time around. Just because a couple of our conjurers are really on the brink. We don't want our conjurers to go down, because they will take injuries and unsummon their creatures. So let's see. We're gonna... You know, I really should have different rules on, like, how you can reassign your things between rounds. But, let's see. I guess we can just go with, like, this. We're gonna put Torkish out in front. And let's see. Yeah, we're gonna do like so. Let's do that. And of course, Arbo is... Now, Erwin's Arbo, we're gonna have to make a sheet and everything for him. So, let's see. Let's roll with Torkish. Surely he's gonna be able to blast this kid the rest of the way dead. Okay, yeah. Evasion, we're shooting for 5. We hit a 4, 2, 3, 6, 6, 3, 8, 7. Okay, that's more than enough to blast him to smithereens. That means Kristoff is not going to get a chance to get his own Arbo. Erwin now gets his turn. He's going to take a Scepter Blast. Ooh. 9, 8, 6, 5, 9, 5, 8. He's high rolling now. That's more than enough. You guys should have ran, Arbos. You should have ran. Cheapy. Let's see. Slowly but surely, he's nibbling away at this guy. Let's see what. He needs, let's see, he's taking the -2 penalty, so he needs at least an 8 on his dice. He rolls 3, 1, 7, 2, 3, 10, and 1. So the 10's the only one that hits, and it counts for 2. Ooh. This guy's tough. So that means Justin is going to have to pick up the slack. Hopefully he does. I was thinking he could have a second chance with the binding crystals, but if he needs to hit 4 successes, that's not happening. He'd have to hit all of them. He'd have to get all hits. Well, no wait, we don't want to click the binding crystal. We're doing the blast from the rod. We're blasting him with the rod. Oh, that sucks. Justin, you kind of suck. Justin blows it. He rolls 2 1s, by the way. 3, 4, 1, 1, 4, 4. None of those hit. And let's see, what? Okay. He has 2 in his magic skill, which is what he uses for the rod. So, I guess he doesn't break the rod. If he rolled 3, he would. I feel like he probably should have, but you know what? I feel like I haven't completely written out the rule yet. So if somebody has 0 skill in a thing, then it would take one critical failure to break the thing. And I feel like going on that way, so if you have 1 skill, it requires 2. If you have 2 skill, it requires 3. That makes sense. Because otherwise, somebody would be breaking their weapons with 0 skill every time. So yeah, Justin just barely avoids breaking his rod as he's blasting things, channeling his power through it. Either way, he can't aim. He can't direct his power right. The thing's just too quick and nimble for him. So that means it gets one more hit on Cheapy. Cheapy is definitely going down here. Cheapy, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. That's not good, but let's see. He's the only one left. Let's see if he sticks around for one more turn. This one went on way longer than it probably should have. 6. He fails. He runs. All right. He is off. We slew 4. We captured 1. So I'm going to mark this down on my tracker here. Let's see. Under the loot. 4 Arbos. And now let's figure out exactly what Erwin's new Arbo is like. Let's bring up the rules, and I will have to find out where the table is. Let's see. Conjuring, that's the one, and right down at the bottom, we've got all the different natures, and you can't see them very well because of the way it's cropped. But we'll roll anyways. So when you capture a new creature, you're gonna roll 1d10, as you often do. And we come up with a 6, and that corresponds to each a different nature. 6 is jealous. Alright. So let's go ahead and mark that down on his character sheet. He now has a jealous Arbo. Affinity starts at 1, enmity is 0. Actually, maybe I should start the enmity at their power. I've been thinking about that. We're gonna do that. Or at their danger, rather. So he's got a danger of 2, so we're gonna start Arbo with 2 enmity. I feel like that makes sense. That when you bind it right away, it's not going to immediately like you. Let's see. Erwin does have a point in capacity, so he can basically equip that right away. He'll have it for use on this day. That's actually rougher than I thought it would be. After that first one, I was like, oh, these guys aren't going to take much damage. But then the second round came around, and it was kind of a disaster. Let's see. We had 2 guys knocked out, so Psykit and Cheapy are both going to gain 1 enmity. And of course, when you get to 5 with a certain creature, then they're going to start disobeying. And we'll take these guys off. Now, they're going to have the opportunity to rest. And when you rest, you have a chance to meditate and restore, to enter your astral pocket, your little dream world, where your creatures reside when they're not summoned, and they're gonna heal up their guys with their magic, and also just restore their health. So what they're gonna do... I hate how it does that. Let's rearrange things here. Justin over here. Kristoff over here, Erwin over here. Erwin gets the Arbo too. Alright, so Kristoff and Justin are going to have to take a swig of water and rehydrate themselves while they take a break in order to, let's see, knock off a stamina and refill their health. How much is his health? 50. Okay. Good thing he's wearing pretty hefty armor. Let's see. Justin doesn't have a whole lot of stamina. And Erwin didn't actually take any damage, so he's pretty much good to go. Now Kristoff, he's gonna have to knock 1 down for meditation to restore Cheapy's health. And Cheapy's none too happy that he had to be brought back, but he'll be okay, right? Right. Erwin, on the other hand, has 2 creatures that are low on health, so he's gonna heal both of them up. Psykit's gonna be back up to 40, and Arbo is also back up to 40. So he'll have access to Arbo here for the rest of the adventure. So that'll be useful for actually exploring the caves when they get there. Let's get this up. We need our visuals. And they'll be able to go along their way. Now, last I checked, I didn't write this down, I forgot. But I'm pretty sure the other die for the encounters that we rolled was not an encounter. So we're gonna continue on there without a problem. We are gonna knock off 2 stamina for each of the spaces they traveled. Now, the way I'm handling traveling and determining how far they can go is with each labor action they do. They basically have a certain amount of movement points. And let's see, those movement points are what? 6 plus the lowest speed among the things that are in their team. So the lowest speed is 4, so they would normally have a travel speed of 6 or 10 rather. But they also have that hand cart that they're bringing along that they loaned from, they borrowed from the League of Magi to help haul back anything they find. And I'm gonna say that brings them down to a travel speed of like 9. But that doesn't really make a whole lot of difference when we're only moving 2 spaces. And these are determined by their density. So these two only have 3 density, I believe. So they go through them no problem. They have plenty of space left over and they arrive with extra time to spare. This one, however, does have a couple of hazards that we might need to deal with. So let me pull up the hazards and take a look at what we got. It says we got rib cages. Now these are carnivorous chalcids that spring up from underground to impale anything that step on them. They're basically like natural bear traps, like bony little things that spring up and clamp onto you and try to drag little prey down into them to digest. One of the sub-creatures that we have. So, you know what? I believe Justin, or Christoph is our guide. He rolled 4 successes. So we're going to deal with these as that. He notices both of these hazards. He's got to look out for them. It was marked on the map anyways. So he knows they're there and is able to guide the party around them. And that leads them to the cave. And this is where more experimental rolls are coming into place. So I think we're gonna kind of take a break here, and I'll come back once I get things figured out a little bit more. Alright, I'm gonna wrap up the episode here. Thanks for watching, and since you made it this far, don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But most importantly, leave me some feedback in the comments. The game is still in development, so I'd like to hear what people think. And if you want to see more, I've got all these sessions on a playlist that you can watch back to back. There's also a bunch of links in the description for other places that you can find creatures. So, until next time, farewell, conjurers, and may you walk the waking dream.